By now, you should know that there are some things in the Philippines that will test your patience. Too many things to list in one video. But in this topic, we will talk about some things that will infuriate many of us while living in the Philippines. Someone says by the name of Armin, for me, it's the whole fake moral around sex. So many Filipinos are full of BS when they talk about sex. I don't know how many European countries where more women in their 30s and 40s have more sex compared to the Philippines. I'd also say that they cheat more than Westerners. Nobody expects from a married Filipino to abstain from sleeping around. I have never seen any place with more gays and trans than in Manila. But when it comes to the Philippines, it is Sodom and Gomorrah. But yet, at the same time, you can't get the divorce here. And the girls are full of STDs because HMO won't cover it. No sex education at all in a lot of areas, and you can't get condoms in some areas after 8 or 10 p.m. when the drugstores are closed. Coverage of contraceptives is limited. Even if it's sure that the mother will pass away, they will not let you get rid of the child. And the worst is when they try to defend all this BS while at the same time doing all kinds of things by themselves. Add to the abuse of power, blackmail, and taking advantage of women, which are here more common tolerated than the West. It is like a recipe for disaster. Blame the Catholic Church. Would love to see it differently, but the Reddit bots won't allow me. I see this person is frustrated essentially with the two-faced behavior from Filipinos. It is very true. On one hand, they claim to be religious, conservative, and modest, while on the other hand have some of the highest rates of STDs and all types of sexual fantasies. Every man, woman, above 17, 18-year-olds, even younger. There are too many things to discuss. I would like to hear some other people's opinions. Wycliffe says, I think this is true. I'm in the Visayas, and I've heard a lot of moms say that their daughters, quote, no boyfriend until you graduate from medical nursing school. But, Mom, can I get a guide through Facebook? And you won't know. This comment has been removed for excessive Visaya content. Comical. They're making fun of their accent. Despite that, Andrew says, it's kind of true. I agree with the post. Especially in poverty, I think it's because people are poor and don't have many options to enjoy life. The only cheap enjoyment they can have is sex. True, and boredom leads to causing trouble. Also lack of education, contraceptives, and especially opportunity or simply getting out there and doing things allows these teenagers and adults to do whatever they want. As they say, it's cheap and very affordable. I've said this before, Filipino women are the easiest women to get into bed. Beneficial Caramel says, there's nothing wrong with having lots of sex and enjoying it. There's lots of wrong in pretending it doesn't happen and have no access to education, healthcare, divorce, etc. just because of religious and politics. That is the key takeaway here. We and this post are not judging people for enjoying themselves and doing what they want, but it's the two-faced, hypocritical thing about it. The fact that they say they are religious and conservative, yet they are the most free Asian women and easy to get in bed I've ever come across. These are the issues, and yet some women actually go through trauma since they can't get the help they need since against the law, essentially, and they have to go in behind people's backs and into the black market and get things who knows if it's safe or not. Jarhead says, I'm more curious about how much time have you actually spent here in the Philippines to come to these conclusions. I do agree with many of your thoughts. Overly religious, lack of divorce, but I disagree with most of the rest. If you study the culture and history and come to understand the aspect of how poverty and many other things affect life here, you might gain greater insight to why many of the problems that exist and how those issues came to be. The person does not care about why it came to be. He's simply pointing out the truth and the facts and the realities of what is happening in this country. That is one thing most viewers that try to defend the Philippines tend to forget. They want to compare it to America or to other countries or try to give backstories. Nobody cares why it happens. The point is it is happening. The point is that life here isn't what they make it seem to be. We don't care about the history of the country. That is not the point of this issue and topic and our frustrations. The reality is different as to why it happens. We don't care about the backstory. We care about our life today and how it's affecting us as expats and foreigners. The original post also wants to know what frustrates other people, and the person by the name of It's Me, Barras, says 1. The trash everywhere, with little effort made to clean it up. 2. The constant attempt of applying the skin tax to foreigners. Yes. Orny Exchange replies and says, I live in the province. Trash is a constant battle. Most people here simply don't care. It's almost like having a bunch of trash in your yard is a status symbol because it shows that you could afford it. Slowly, things are getting better with my girlfriend's family. It takes time to get them to adapt to things, but there is incremental progress. Wyclef says, things about trash I've seen people do here that I've never seen anywhere else. People who throw a half-full plastic cup on the ground while walking down the sidewalk or riding in a jeepney. People who use the front courtyard as a trash dump. People who burn plastic trash along with their paper trash. That one is really terrible because it releases toxins into the air. People who throw those terrible little sachets on the ground instead of putting the little piece of plastic trash in their pocket. I also blame the whole single-serving mentality on this. There are Filipinos who will argue that single-serving packaging makes the product affordable, like shampoo. I doubt that's true though, and it creates a huge amount of plastic. This actually goes back to the mentality of Filipinos thinking only short-term, thinking only for today and not the future. Yes, a single package of shampoo is cheaper, but how much do you actually receive in that one package? Let me give you an example. Let's say, just for the sake of this example, that 1 peso buys you 1 milligram of shampoo. So they buy 5 of these. So they think they save money by only spending 5 pesos. Whereas in a bottle of 200 milligrams of shampoo may only cost 100 pesos, which means they would have gotten twice as much shampoo for half the price and reduce all that plastic. But they don't think that way. They only think short term. And that mentality can be applied to several things in the Philippines when it comes to their entire way of living. Ornery Exchange also says, I showed my girlfriend the math to finally get her off the sachets. For her hair products, they are about 3 times the price of buying the bottle of the shampoo or conditioner. We also finally got her family trained well enough to use bulk laundry detergent instead of sachets. The initial problem with the detergent was that they would use way too much, which caused skin irritation in addition to the additional cost. They finally have the scoop figured out. One day, maybe, I could convince them that they don't need to wash clothes in the old plastic washing machine before they wash them in a new top loader. This isn't the only place I've seen trash issue. Saudis were even worse about throwing trash down wherever they were, but the country was typically a little cleaner because they had legions of foreign laborers to do everything, including pick up trash. For one thing, I would say the difference between Saudis and I assume this is Saudi Arabia is that they are rich. The reason they throw trash on the floor is because they have servants. Like I said, it's not because they lack discipline. It's a whole different thought process there. They know someone will pick it up since they have servants all over their homes. Resistant Bad says, I thought I found a good Filipino lady, full-time work, studying, and good family values. Turns out she's an ex-bar girl who still does stuff on the side to make money, which is every month, and has 3 or 4 Western boyfriends on the go, but it's okay because things are different with me. Now I have to figure out a way to pay her to part ways, otherwise she'll go completely psychotic on me, FML. I'm not certain that this is real, but the truth is there are men like this out there. I should use that term men very loosely because no real man will allow his girlfriend to have side men to make money or date a bar girl for that matter. Time for the best and worst comment of our previous video of yesterday. The best comment is tied. Bobby James says, the deceit and lies in the Philippines is insane. While Who Cares 300 says, Being nice is seen as a weakness. Never forget that. Smiling at people shows you're an easy target. These are facts and the truth. The worst comment is from Caucasian African. Still not as bad as American women. At least Filipino women can't get the government to take the kids and your house from you and send you to jail if you don't pay, like in the US. People like this are despicable. Firstly, as I keep mentioning, just because I am explaining the truth and facts about the Philippines, I am not saying that it's worse than America or that there are no problems with America or than comparing countries. Secondly, it shows me the type of deadbeat father you want to be to try and escape from your responsibilities and the law. Thanks for watching. Remember, subscribe to we can please the YouTube overlords. Like this video also. Thanks for watching. God bless.